How's it going? In this video today we're going to be looking at a super powerful shortcut add-on called Actions for Obsidian. Now Actions for Obsidian can do a lot of cool stuff, and if you're an Obsidian user you should absolutely learn how to leverage this app. Let's take a look. Alright, so here we are on my iPad and we're going to just open up, the App Store. Once the App Store is open, we're going to just navigate to the search bar. And we're going to type in Actions for Obsidian, which is right here. Now, this is it right here. So when we take a look at it, it gives you 30 plus shortcut actions to work with Obsidian. This makes getting text into Obsidian a lot easier. Now, for whatever reason, this is the only image he has. I'm not sure why he go through the, trouble of building this awesome app and not adding more images to promote it, but that's the only one he has. And if we take a step back, it should be noted that we do need shortcuts. So if you don't have shortcuts and you stumbled onto this video, then you're going to want to download this app, because Actions for Obsidian relies on this application right here, which is called Shortcuts. All right. Okay, so I want to show you two things you can use this application for, just to get your feet wet. I mean, honestly, it can do a lot more than what I'm going to show you, but I want to keep it simple. I want to introduce you to it. And as you begin to play with the application, you're going to naturally want to evolve and learn more of the actions it can do. All right, so let's step over here and we're going to jump into Shortcuts. And we're going to go down to, actually, I'm going to create these as a shared shortcut. So if you want to start with it, you can absolutely do that. So I'm going to create this up under shared shortcuts. All right. And I'm going to say plus. And this is going to be templater. All right. So what I should say, when you're getting started with Actions for Obsidian, I'm assuming that you already have it set up. If you haven't set it up or you missed my last video, I'm going to have you watch that video and then come back to this one, because that video walks you through how to set it up. And I don't want to just re-siphon the same information, so I'll link up that video below if you haven't seen it already. So here what we want to do is we want to come over to Actions, and we're going to click on Actions for Obsidian. And over here we can see a list of actions we can do. So we have Obsidian Commands, which is Obsidian Commands, Obsidian Data View. We have Obsidian Files, Folders, and we have Obsidian Notes. What we're going to focus on today is the notes. So if you want to create a note, you can. So the way I'm going to start doing this is I'm actually going to create this right here. But before I do that, what I want to do is I want to come over here to ask for input. And the reason why I want to ask for input is because it's going to be important to make sure I have my file path name correct. So over here, I'm just going to say, so what's the file name? And then down here for file path, I'm going to have it pass this information to it. So I'm just going to click on provide input, and as you can see, it just linked up. My vault, super simple. I'm going to have it as demo vault. Again, I show you how to connect all of this stuff in the previous video. Now, here's the deal. If you just had some text that you wanted to get inside Obsidian, meaning like a clip, web clip or something like that, you would use this format right here. And what you could do is you can come up here and you can ask for another one. You could say text, and we're going to ask for right here, we're going to say get clipboard. So it's just a tag. We don't need anything for it. And now what I can do is I can take this text and I can paste it right here. So this is in essence my own little mini web clipper. So if we want to see how it works, let me jump over to the internet and copy something to my web clipper right quick. All right, so here I am. I'm at the Actions for Obsidian website for their documentation. And let's say I wanted to copy this right here. Let's say this is what I want to copy. So I can right click, copy. I'm using a mouse. After that, I can come back over here. And now I could just run this. So I'm just going to click on play, and I could say demo article. Done. And now you can see demo article.md was successfully created. And if I come over here to Actions for Obsidian, you can see where it actually created that article for me. So if we look over here, we can see demo article, and we can see everything that I copied on the clipboard was put into this folder, into this specific file. So that's one way you can use Actions for Obsidian. Another way you can use Actions for Obsidian is by pulling in the templates that we created in Templater. So for example, if we look right here at our templates folder, we did these in a previous video, and these right here, we can pull these in. All we have to do is call them. So a way to do that inside of shortcuts, because we're going to actually delete this. So we're going to delete this and we're going to go back over to shortcuts and we're going to play with this again. So we're going to delete that. And this right here, we're going to delete this as well. Now, instead of it saying insert note body, we're going to change that to apply templater. Now, when we want to apply templater, we have to make sure we get the name correct. If we don't get the name correct, it is not going to work. So for example, I'm going to come over here to Obsidian, which is right here. And you can see all of these would be templates. So if we wanted books, it would be templates, book, template. So if we wanted templates, email, if we wanted the email or the test folder, it would be templates, then email. So what I'm going to do is look at the book. All right, so we're going to pull this template for it. And let's go back. So we can see the root folder is templates and the book title is book template. All right, I'm going to do it incorrect first, and then I'm going to do it the right way just to show you what'll happen. So I'm going to say templates / books. Was it book or books? Don't remember. Okay, it's book. And then I'm going to say templates. All right, so we know this is wrong, but this is how I would traditionally do it. So that's the reason why I'm showing you this. All right, so I'm going to click play. I'm going to say demo test. I'm going to say done. And you can see it errored out. We get a operation error. So it says template file not found. So if you see this error, then that means you got your path wrong. Now, if we come over here, delete that out. Well, actually, I didn't have to delete that. I could leave that. And then I'm going to come over here to where it says book and template. I'm going to hit space. And now watch what happens. I'm going to say play. I'm going to say demo test. Well, actually, before I do that, let me just show you that it did not work. So let's come back over to Obsidian and we can come over here and we can see that over here, there's nothing there. So now let's come back and run it. And we're going to come back to this one and now I'm going to hit play and I'm going to say demo test. I'm going to say done. And you can see that it successfully worked because we got the output of demo test.md. Now, if we come back over here, we can see that we were able to pull this template. So if we go to book template and we go to book template, we can see it's identical. We was able to pull this template into whatever we wanted. Now, the cool part about this is we can do some really cool stuff with this as far as adding placeholders, changing out things and stuff like that. Really, really cool stuff. But first, I want to show you how to use periodic notes. All right, so the next one is going to be periodic notes. We're going to delete this because we don't need it anymore. I'll show you some cool stuff we can do with that a little bit later on because you might be wondering why pulling a template and then still have to input information. Well, I'm going to show you how we can create a templater and then input information into that templater and we completely hands off. All right, so let me show you how that will work. Well, I'll show you that in a bit. First, let's do periodic notes. So we're going to delete this. We're going to delete this as well. And first things first, before we do periodic notes, actually, maybe I should have kept that. Let's do X for input. We're going to come back over to Actions for Obsidian. We'll scroll down to create note. And then after that, we're going to click on templater. And then after that, we can apply the file. Now, this is where the shortcut is going to stop because for these paths, I can actually connect these right quick. So I'm going to actually connect this. So the path name is going to be whatever input you provide right here. Your vault, you'll just pick whatever your vault is and then apply whatever template you want based on how I showed you. And that's where we're going to stop with this one. All right. So I'm going to come over here because I'm going to make this one downloadable for you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to actually just go up in here, change it. All right, so we switched this over to Action for Obsidian, periodic note. And actually for periodic notes, we honestly don't need any of this stuff. So only thing we have to do is go to Actions for Obsidian. And really quickly, just in case you're unaware, periodic notes is more so for if you're doing journaling and things like that. If you're journaling, then periodic notes is where you want to be because it allows you to create a note for that specific day and it's tied to that specific day. That's why you would use periodic notes if you like to journal. Okay, so before we install periodic notes, we first have to go up to Obsidian and set it up. So let's do that first. So here we are back at Obsidian and we're going to come down to settings. We're going to click on community plugins. We're going to click on browse. And right here, we're going to we're going to type in periodic notes, which is right here. And we're going to click on install. Then we're going to say enable. After that, we can leave up out of there. And now it's time for us to set up periodic notes. So we're going to click on settings and we're going to scroll down to where you see it right here at the very bottom up under community plugins. It says periodic notes and we're going to turn this on. Now, before we can set this up, we first have to come back over here and under our templates, we need to create a new one. So we're going to create a new note and we're going to call it daily note. And honestly, if I were you, if you want to make sure you don't make a mistake, you can always use camel case. Camel case is where you put the words together like you see here and you just capitalize the first letter of each word. That way you don't have to worry about your filing structure being off. However, if you don't want to do that and you put a period, you put a space here, you make sure you put a space when you're doing the actual, when you're actually typing it in to the file path. All right. So spaces matter here. And if I'm not mistaken, this is case sensitive, meaning however you typed it here is how you need to type it under the file path. All right. So now that we have a daily note, we can say, we can ask one question. All right. So I asked, what was the number one thing you learned today? So in this case, I'm going to put 2 parentheses and then I'm going to say answer. Then I'm going to put 2 more parentheses. This is known as a placeholder. We can put whatever we want inside of the placeholder, but we have to have 2 parentheses on each side so that it'll recognize that this is the text that we want to grab. All right. So I'm just going to copy that and we're going to come back over here. Now that we have our daily note template right here, the next thing I want to do is I want to create a folder. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say daily notes with an S. All right. And now what we can do is we can come back over here. I clicked on this little icon settings. Just make sure I'm not moving too fast. And it's already got me on periodic notes. If you're not, you just scroll down, click periodic notes. And then right here, when you click right here for daily note template, as you can see, it automatically gives you a list. So I'm going to say daily notes. That's what I want. I'm going to say folder. Note folder is going to be daily notes. That's what I want. And if I wanted weekly notes, I could do that as well. If I wanted monthly notes, I could do that as well. And it's the exact same setup. But in this specific case, we're just going to do daily notes. All right. And up here, it just tells you how to get started and all that other stuff. So you can keep this up here or you can click dismiss to get rid of it. I'm going to dismiss it as you've seen I did. I'm going to hit exit. Now that all of this is set up, we good to go. Now we can go back over to shortcuts. And what I recommend, just to be on the safe side, is I'm going to close out of shortcuts and I'm going to go back in because I just want to make sure that shortcuts sees those updates inside of Obsidian. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to scroll back down to my shared shortcuts and I'm going to go over to periodic notes, which is right here. Click on the 3 dots. And now we can come over to Actions for Obsidian. And now what I can do is I can type in periodic notes. So go past that and now we could do create periodic note. Now, the cool thing about this one is a lot of this information is already filled out for you. As you can see, I can say, okay, daily note. It's already going to give me my vault. If you wanted to do something else, you could do daily note, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or yearly. Or you can do X each time. It's up to you. All right. Insert body. I'm going to actually insert my templater. Now, if you wanted to insert something different, you could. You could just add in a different article like we did last time, and it'll insert that as your daily note if you copy something from the clipboard. But I'm going to assume that you don't want to do that. If it's a daily note, it's going to be something you're typing up. So I'm going to change this out, and I'm going to change this to my daily notes template since that's what I'm talking in. My template file is going to be templates/daily note. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's it. We can jump back over here just to make sure. Yep, that's it, daily note. And now if I wanted to, I can click play and it's just going to create that note. So as you can see, it created that note inside that. So if we come back over here, I'm going to just exit out of this. I'm going to exit out of this. And you can see right here, we come over to the side, we look in daily notes, we can see that it was created 2024-04-04. So pretty cool stuff, and it automatically get drops inside of daily notes folder. All right. So that's one thing you can do with it. You can ask for an input and type in and you can put that information up in there. Now, what I want to do is I want to take advantage of this little placeholder right here, which is answer. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually delete this from daily notes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over here. And now that I have this set up, what I want to do is I want to come over here to 2. So I'm going to come right here where it says insert text at placeholder. So I'm going to drop that in. Now, there's honestly 2 ways you can do this. The first way is you can add a wait, or the second way is you can just run them back to back. If you run them back to back, you're going to have them, you know, basically doing everything at once and not waiting. I'm going to show you how both of them are. And then with the one that you can download, I'm going to have the wait up in there. So if you want to, if you don't like the wait, just delete it. Not a big deal, but I'm going to show you. So here we go. I'm going to say insert text. So the text that I want to insert is going to be ask for input. We're going to put this at the very top. The reason why I'm putting it at the very top is because shortcuts run top down, meaning you might think to put it right here. So if you grab it, shortcuts is glitching out for me right now. So let me just type something in right quick, and it's going to match the other question. How was your day? Question mark. All right, now that that's gone, let's see if it'll let me grab it. So if you put it right here, what's going to happen is shortcut is going to run this, and then it's going to pop this up. And then it's going to try to run this. You don't want it to do that. What you want it to do is run everything in order. So I can grab this right here, ask for input, insert text, replace text with provided input. My placeholder is going to be, I think is answer, if I'm not mistaken. You don't have to put the 2 parentheses over here if you don't want to. For me personally, I just do it. Honestly, you don't have to, but I guess I'm not going to do it in this example just to show you that you don't have to. You can just put whatever the wording is. And you can see this is going after the current daily note. Current daily note means whatever note you created for today is going to be what it does. All right. And then you're going to pick your vault and you're going to say demo vault. So now when we play this, it's going to create a daily note for today. And then after that, it's going to create this. Now, it's a few things we want to change up under these settings, and it's a few things we want to change up under here. We drop down. You see it says strategy for dealing with an existing note. You can say leave note as is. For me, I want to say, leave. I actually wanted to show me an error so I'll know that it's another note there. And then over here, what I want to do is, now if you say leave note as is, it won't touch your note or anything like that. So I'll leave it like that for this example. Down here, what I want to do is it says, where should the text be inserted? It says below, above, or replace. We want to replace that placeholder text with this actual text right here. Then it says allow empty replacement. You can turn that on, but I wouldn't if I were you. All right. So now this shortcut is set up and ready to go. So it says, how was your day? I'm going to say play. All right. So I just put in some text right quick to say my day is good. I got to create a video for shortcuts and Actions For Obsidian. Good time. So I'm going to copy this just in case I get an error message, and then I'm going to say done. All right, so you can see that it successfully added it. If we come back over here, you can see right here, it added the date, and then you can see it added that. Now, if we delete this, and we keep everything the same, we just put this right here, which is what I don't recommend. But watch what's going to happen. I'm going to click play, and you see how you get this pop up while it's still doing this thing. Hit play again, say done. And now if we come back over here, it's literally the exact same outcome. The only difference is you're answering this question up front, which is how I prefer it. Now, if you're going to have this down here, then you can have this, you can have a wait tag, apply it right here. Maybe like, shouldn't take no more than 2 seconds. So you can say play. Actually, it's not going to do anything because I already have a note for that date. So I'll have to come over here really quickly. Delete this note. All right. Now when I hit play, and now you can see by the time it get back over here, this is popping up for my next input. I can say Command V, say done. And now it goes back out, finds that replacement text, and then replaces it. And as you can see, we don't have to use parentheses down here. Oftentimes I do just because I guess it's habit. So that's another way you can use Actions for Obsidian if you like to journal and things like that. The final way I want to show you how you can use Actions for Obsidian is something that's a little bit more advanced, but honestly, it's not that advanced. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to leave out of here. Under Templater, I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to step into it. I'm going to change this, rename it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how you can insert text into your template using Templater. It's the exact same way that we would do it. The only difference with this is inside of periodic notes. Periodic notes does the heavy lifting for us, so we don't have to do any filing or anything like that, file paths. With this one, we do, because templater need to know where it's going and what we're doing. So to do that, it's a little bit different, but I'm going to show you. All right, so I'm going to say my vault is demo. I'm going to say my file path is, let's see what my file path is going to be. Actually, I didn't have to close out of that. I could have just slid over a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this because I don't need it in there. But let's see, which one do I want to do? We can do email. So we're going to do email. All right. So in that case, my file path will be templates/email. So that's the one we're going to do. So if we come back over to this one, my file path is going to be templates/email. Perfect. So now when I create it, it's going to automatically create this and it's going to add that. Now what I want to do is I want to come over to Actions for Obsidian. And what do I want to do? I want to go down to Notes. And under Notes, make sure you're up under Notes and not periodic notes, but you're actually up under Obsidian Notes. And I'm going to get insert text at placeholder for notes. All right. So now this is asking me, okay, what do you want to replace? So in this case, I think it's email, but let's go see. Yeah. Okay. So it's email. So I'm just going to copy that. Actually, we can copy this whole thing so I can show you that it'll work either way. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to add the placeholder. That's my placeholder right there. My file path, I haven't created it yet. So for my file path, it's going to be whatever this is. So before we do file path, let's deal with this insert text replacement. So for this, I'm going to do clipboard. We're going to keep it simple. I'm going to say clipboard and I'm going to jump over to, we're going to say close. All right, and we're just going to use this email right here. And I'm going to say command, I'm going to say copy. Now I'm going to run that template. So I'm going to say, it's Actions for Obsidian, and it's going to be right here. Actions for Obsidian templater 2. And I'm just going to call this welcome email. I'm going to say done. And it brings me back here because that's how I got it set up, but I'll show you how you can change that. And if we come over here now, you can see welcome email is the tag. So let's get rid of that. Back over here. And we can see I have my welcome email right here. And then we can see right here, it says this is something really cool. This is a really cool email. Keep reading. All right. And you can see down here, it actually pulls down my markdown as well. Now, fun fact. You can see it just put it above it. So if I come up in here and we say, all right, delete this because I see where we made a mistake. All right, delete that, come back over here, and we're going to drop this down, and we don't want it placed above it. We want to replace it all together. All right, now we're going to come back. Well, we can just run it from here, actually. We're going to click play. I'm going to say welcome email. I'm going to say done. And now if we go back over to Obsidian and we click right here, we can see that's our welcome email. And then we can see right here is back, and we can see it actually replaced the text holder, the text link. And we can see whatever our markdown was, we still have it. So if we was using markdown someplace else, that markdown transfer over to Obsidian quite nicely. So pretty cool stuff what you can do. Now, the last thing I want to show you is if we leave out of here, so we're going to close out of here. We can leave out of Obsidian. We can leave out of all this stuff. And this is what I want to show you because it's actually inside of here. Now, this is a really powerful app. The only annoying thing that I don't like about this app is if you haven't paid for it, it's going to automatically default you back to this page and it's going to be in red where it says something to the extent of, wow, technically it worked, technically it happened, then you should consider paying for the app. Now, the good side is when you go to Obsidian, you're going to actually see your text up in there. The downside is it's going to keep bringing you back to this page saying consider paying for it. I don't like it, but that's what it do. So if you can get past that annoying part, then you don't have to worry about it. Now, with me, I actually paid for it because one, I want the app to stick around, but two, I just don't like that. Once you do that, and I'm not sure you can do this, what I'm going to show you if you're not on the paid version. But what you can do is you can go into your settings and you see where it says right here, it says end of workflow. Once it performs whatever it's going to perform, it's asking you where do you want it to go. You can open Obsidian, which 9 times out of 10, opening Obsidian is the best place to go because if we look right here, if we go back into shortcuts, let's go back into shortcut. Once we get done running this shortcut, more than likely we're going to want to be inside of Obsidian because we're going to want to know that our information is actually up in there. So let's see here. Where is it? Shared shortcuts. It's right here. We're going to come back to this one. And the cool thing about this is we can run this again because it's not dependent upon our periodic notes. So I can just click play. I could say welcome part 2, and it should pull my clipboard as well again. And this time it should land me back on Obsidian, which it did. So you can see welcome part 2, and you can see it landed me on here, which is what I wanted. Now, if we come back over here, we can see welcome email, and then we can see welcome email too. And the cool thing about it is it's literally just pulling what's on the clipboard. So I really like that. This is a really, really powerful app. And honestly, you can do everything I just showed you, you can do with Data Jar. The reason why I like this one is because it simplifies getting the information into Obsidian. With Data Jar, you're basically saving that file and you're saving it into the root folder of your Obsidian file. And that's how it's getting up in there. You open it up and it's going to pop up in there magically. With this, you don't have to do that. This is like a simpler version of how to get things into Obsidian. Now, if you prefer the old way, I'm going to link up the video that I did showing you how to do it without using Actions for Obsidian, just in case you say, I like it, but I don't really need all of that extra power, and you prefer a free way to do it. In that case, I'll link that video up right here. It's going to actually show you how to do it via the Files app, meaning you're saving files directly into your Obsidian folder, into whatever database you want it to go into. Pretty cool stuff. I'll link it up for you right here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up. I'm back into it. I really enjoy creating shortcut tutorials like this one. So if you enjoy this type of content, make sure you let me know below so I'll know what direction I should be going in. Till next time. Later.